Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you've stated, the Army continues to aggressively pursue modernization as a top priority to ensure our land forces can dominate any future battlefield. And as we've seen in Ukraine, the ability to strike at extended ranges allows forces to hit deeper into enemy territory while maintaining a standoff. And when we talk about long-range precision fires, many default to precision rockets and missiles, but the reality is that while these systems have their place, they're not an economic solution for any sustained large-scale conflict. So you mentioned that you think there are opportunities out there with the cancellation of the Extended Range Cannon Artillery program to meet some needs, even having some procurement goals. You said, I think, FY25. Are there any other research and other programs you're pursuing to ensure we achieve overmatch against any potential enemy with our current and future howitzer platforms?
I'll talk about this a little bit, Congresswoman. So, yeah, we are looking, and I agree with you. It's not just, this gets to same thing as integrated air and missile defense with long-range fires. You know, with the extended battlefield, we'll need mortars, artillery, all of that. We're looking at that. And I think what we're looking at right now is how do we become more mobile on the battlefield with all of those systems. Excuse me. And then we also got to look at the round. What can we do to adjust the round? And we've done a lot with energetics and made some adjustments so that we're not changing out our systems, that we're actually getting increased range, increased accuracy, and increased lethality by using that as well. So we're trying to look at it in totality. And then the other thing, I do think that there are loitering munitions and other things that we can do that we can reduce the cost on that will also expand the battlefield. That is, we are looking at those as well.
Thank you. And our support to Ukraine has also opened our eyes to the shortcomings in our defense industrial base, especially for artillery shells that continue to show their necessity in modern warfare. So Ukraine is limited to firing, I believe I last heard, 2,000 artillery shells a day, roughly 1/3 of Russia's capacity. Due to shortages, if the U.S. is to find itself in a large-scale conflict, our industrial base must be able to quickly and effectively increase production of critical munitions to support our armed forces. So, Madam Secretary, this committee has done much to support the Army ammunition production base. What further investments are needed to ensure our organic industrial base can scale production of munitions to meet the requirements of not only today with respect to Ukraine, but potential conflict in the future?
Thank you, Congresswoman. The work that's been done, you know, at places like Picatinny and elsewhere in the past couple of years has just been outstanding. I think we've strengthened our industrial base considerably. In terms of future investments, our budget invests $1 billion a year across the 5 years in our organic industrial base, so in our 23 arsenals, ammo plants, and depots. And then, of course, we need to work with our partners in industry to continue to build up our munitions. And so this budget requests over $3 billion a year for munitions, you know, everything from Javelins to Stingers to Gimlers to PAC-3 MSE. So there's a very substantial investment in munitions and the broader industrial base in this budget request.
Thank you. And then, as we've seen from the war in Ukraine, it's given us valuable lessons learned as we prepare our forces for large-scale combat operations. It's one thing to develop and adopt technologies such as drones and electromagnetic warfare, but we have to incorporate those lessons into doctrine, training, and the organization of our land forces. So, General George, can you provide an overview of how the Army's incorporating lessons from Ukraine at echelon? How are our soldiers mastering these new technologies while also working on old school tasks such as trench warfare and analog communications? And finally, how are we preparing to counter the lessons our adversaries are learning from this conflict as well?
Okay, thanks for the question, Congresswoman.
Yeah, 20
so
seconds.
we have, I'll try to be quick. We have Center for Army Lessons Learned over there. TRADOC is leading this, but really all the organizations from the Army Futures Command, making sure that we're learning what we're doing. And we say there's a difference between a lesson observed and a lesson learned. for it to be learned, we have to change how we train, we have to change how we equip, and how we operate.